Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm thrilled to share a story that has completely captivated me. It's a tale of mystery, history, and the quiet secrets that everyday objects can hold. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's step into the world of the Curio Nook. The story begins in a charming antique shop. The Curio Nook, run by a woman named Anya. One Monday afternoon, as the sunlight streamed through the dusty air, a particular object caught her attention. It was a silver locket, cool and heavy in her palm. It felt like a small, stubborn anchor in the ever-changing world of her shop. The front was beautifully ornate, a testament to the skilled hands that had crafted it, but it was the back of the locket that truly held the mystery. Instead of the usual monograms or delicate floral engravings you might expect, the reverse side was a field of tarnished silver covered in a series of strange, unprecedented etchings. These weren't just random scratches. They were disciplined, linear figures, a silent geometry of spidery symbols. They seemed to hum with the frustrating promise of a secret, a story waiting to be told. For Anya, a dealer whose life's work was deciphering the history of objects, these marks were a direct challenge to her expertise. She pushed aside her daily tasks, the invoices and price tags, and surrendered to the puzzle. For the next 2 evenings, her work table transformed into something of an archaeological dig site. Imagine her surrounded by towering stacks of books, a lone scholar on a quest. She dove into texts on everything you can imagine, from ancient Byzantine ciphers to the intricate signatures of 18th-century jewelers. She meticulously cross-referenced the strange symbols with Icelandic staves, which are ancient runic alphabets, and even the lesser-known glyphs used by early alchemists. She didn't stop there. Her research took her into the fascinating world of old printing presses, searching for esoteric symbols hidden in the margins of rare manuals. But each attempt, each comparison, led to a dead end. The symbols on the locket refused to match any known system. They stood alone, defiant, like a language spoken by only one person in the history of the world. It was as if the locket was a unique key, but the lock it was meant to open had been lost to time. "You're at ease, aren't you?" Anya murmured to the locket, holding it under the harsh, white beam of her jeweler's lamp, the kind of light that reveals every tiny flaw and detail. She gently ran a cotton swab over the etchings, trying to figure out if they were a later addition, scratched on by a subsequent owner, or if they were part of the locket's original design. The evidence was clear. The cuts were deep, aged with the same dark patina as the silver around them. They were original. A sense of frustration began to creep in, a familiar feeling for anyone who's ever been consumed by a difficult puzzle. The muscles in her neck tightened. It wasn't just the mystery of what the marks meant that bothered her, but the baffling question of why. Why would someone go to such lengths to create a message only to hide its meaning so completely, so perfectly? It seemed almost paradoxical. These symbols weren't meant for a casual glance. They weren't a secret to be discovered by just anyone who happened to pick up the locket. They were designed to endure, to survive the centuries, waiting patiently for a very specific kind of person of mind that cared enough to look closely, to question, and to persevere. It felt less like a code to be cracked and more like a solemn pact, a promise whispered from the past to the future. As the night wore on, Anya finally set the locket down. The quiet eloquence of its silence had won, for now. She conceded a temporary defeat, but the story was far from over. The locket sat on her desk, its secret still intact, a silent invitation to continue the search. It was a reminder that some mysteries aren't solved in a day, and the greatest treasures are often the ones that make us work the hardest to understand them. What do you think the symbols could mean? Is it a lost language, a personal code, or something else entirely? I'd love to hear your theories in the comments below. This story is just beginning, and the journey to unlock the locket's secret is one I'm excited to continue exploring with all of you. Thank you so much for joining me today for this little narrative adventure. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you love stories about history, mystery, and hidden treasures, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It really helps. And it means you won't miss the next chapter in the story of Anya and the Silver Locket. Until next time, stay curious.